Fog Wrestling back again with another That Time When, and we are looking at Victory Road 2011. We had a dream match with Sting taking on Jeff Hardy. Now, we may have used Joker Sting on the thumbnail, but to be honest, that's probably the only thing that would have made this match even worse. Could you imagine Jeff Hardy coming out the way he did against Joker Sting, who's supposed to be like laughing, like the Joker? I don't need to explain who the Joker is. You all know who the Joker is, of course, but we have to look at the history of this match. So, of course, we have Jeff Hardy against Sting, pitted against each other. TNA, is this the peak of TNA? Some people are like, oh, what about 2006? But, there was a period in TNA, man, where the roster was jacked, and this was about the time, right? So we've got these two going into the main event. Jeff Hardy's backstage. Everyone knows he's on drugs, right? They see him backstage, and to me, this is just fucking ridiculous, right? Like, why couldn't they just have announced that backstage we've had, oh, Jeff Hardy's been attacked, he's not going to be able to compete tonight, right? And just throw like two big main eventers. I believe you already had Ken Anderson and Kurt Angle in a number one contendership match. If I just plucked that from nowhere, I believe you actually did have that, right? But even if you didn't, I don't understand how you're letting this guy go out completely drugged out his fucking melons. It just makes no sense whatsoever. Honestly, I just didn't get it. No, you didn't. You had Mr. Anderson against Rob Van Dam. So, yeah, we bit of a botch for me there, but I just don't get it. I really don't. And I just think it's an absolute mess. Like, Bischoff said on one of his podcasts that Hardy showed up at 11 a.m., but then he disappeared for hours. You've got Bischoff saying he's waiting in gorilla position, and then Hardy comes up in his absolute state of condition, and then when Jeff Hardy and Sting go out, you've got Bischoff coming out and then announcing that the match is no DQ, right? Bischoff said, though, that if Jeff Hardy had appeared 45 minutes earlier, sooner, whatever, he would have changed the match, he would have found a replacement. Sure, that's just not really good enough. Like, come on, yes, it gave us one of the most controversial botches and just moments ever in wrestling history. It did. It was voted third on wrestling's most botched on the wrestling shooting, and it's just great seeing the likes of, them all talking. You've got New Jack talking about, if someone did that to me, popping pills and commit to a match, I'd batter them. You try to tell me, New Jack, mate, that you weren't on drugs during a match, because I strongly, and I mean strongly, find that hard to believe. But of course, Bischoff and the gang, they just sing Jeff Hardy out, which I think, surely, even if Bischoff's saying that, just Bischoff, I'm surprised Sting even agreed to go out. I guess he didn't want to let down the fans, like he is the world heavyweight champion after all, but I just don't. I think it's just ridiculous that the situation was ever allowed to occur. But of course, both of them go out. Like I said, Bischoff comes out, and the idea here was basically to have Jeff Hardy lose really quick. Bischoff tells Sting's like, well, I'm going to do that anyway. Come on, brother. But I just can't believe that the crew and Gorilla, they're claiming that they were left with no choice but to let Hardy compete and to end the match as quickly as possible. It's just an absolute fucking disaster. And it's the fact that they knew Jeff Hardy was like that backstage, but yet Bischoff still has to come out and tell them in the ring about the audible. Like, why not say to Jeff Hardy backstage? Why say to drugged out Jeff Hardy at this point? Honestly, man, I just feel like this is completely rock bottom. And then he did return on the 8th of September, Jeff, and he said he hit rock bottom. Victor Road, and he said he asked the fans for one more shot. On this road to recovery. But like I say, guys, the match begins. Sting hits the death drop, basically beats him, buries him. But I'm not going to blame Sting here for burying him. It was considered like one of the worst wrestling pay-per-views of all time. If you look at the card, Dreamer against Billy Ray in a Falls Count Anywhere match, Rosita and Sarita taking on Angelina Love and Winter, Hernandez, Matt Morgan, Kazarian defeating Max Buck, and Robbie E for the X Division Championship, Beer Money defeating Inc. for the TNA World Titles, AJ Styles defeating Matt Hardy, Anderson defeating Rob Van Dam. No, actually, no, I ended in a double count out, sorry, and then the main event. A lot of stars on that show, and I just feel like It absolutely ended pretty shite, guys. I mean, it's just, I think this was like one of the instances that like made TNA kind of just completely go off the rails, but it is what it is, folks. And until next time, peace.